What's up guys, it's Miracle, and today I'm here with my Infernoble deck profile that I played at the LCS number 6 this past weekend. And I definitely gonna admit that I had a blast. It was really fun to play in, and I actually ended up going 3 wins and 3 losses. I was supposed to have 4 wins and 2 losses to go to day 2, but I unfortunately lost the last round. I was like, it was not fun to lose the last round in the it happens sometimes, so I can't really complain too much, but I had a blast anyway. I had a ton of fun with all my opponents. Shout out to all of them because they were all great opponents to play with. But why I decided to play Infernoble Knights instead of like control decks that I usually play? Well, I've kind of got a little bored playing control decks lately, and I decided to just play a combo deck. And this one was kind of like the most interesting for me actually to play, with the amount of like advantage you can do for absolutely no reason, and because most of the cards are actually +1s. Like you have Connector, you have like Renault that gives you a card back, and Gearfree is just an insane card to play or to have as access to. So yeah, I really like this deck a lot. I think it's actually a little bit cheaper now that people think, because Gearfree and Renault has actually fallen a lot in price. I don't know exactly if they have also fallen a lot in price in America, but in Europe they have definitely fallen a lot. So if you want to play a decent combo deck, or one of the best decks in the format, I should say instead, and had a blast actually with combo decks, so I definitely recommend this deck. I actually enjoyed so much, and I played for like the past 3 weeks. I really enjoyed a lot. So yeah, and I have nothing much else to say, but let's get into the list.
And here we go.
So before I go into the list, I just want to give a huge shout out to Metamats here, and for this awesome slide for the Skydragon Playman. This Playman is absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love it. So definitely check those guys out. I'll be linking in the description for them, for them and below. They don't sponsor this video at all. I just want to give them a huge shout out because this match is absolutely gorgeous. And triple Gearfree for the main deck. Because we start off with triple Gearfree, of course. This card is absolutely amazing. This card was performed pretty well actually in the whole tournament. Every time, it was most of the time when you drop this card, it's like your opponent had to like think differently when they put what monster they put out, because this card can just take them and use them as like monster negation and use them as monster negation, and it's actually a monster negation before 5th summon, or even on the 5th summon sometimes actually. So this card is absolutely amazing actually. I love this card so much at 3. Then Triple Nord, I was a little bit biased of playing 2 or 3 actually to start with, but I decided to put it up to 3 in the end, because the fact that it gives you any equipped spells and a Fire Warrior from a grave that is either engraved or banished. That's something that some people actually can forget sometimes, because it sets that. And yeah, that's really amazing. So I really like this card. And Triple Oliver, I think this card should be played at 3 from now on, and everyone should do it, I should say, because this card is absolutely absurdly broken actually. Not necessarily broken, but more like a really strong extender actually, because for the most part, when you have Phoenix Blade in Grave, this card is always live, and I always had a weird lineup with that and Ogier, but I only played 1 Ogier, by the way. I always have played weird ratios with these two, like I played like 3 Ogier before and just 1 or 2 otherwise, I don't remember exactly. But I decided to play 3 otherwise because that card was absolutely absurd now. Ogier just 1 because I feel like you still need to play just the 1, because it's a really good normal summon to set up Gearfree so you can play around Nibiru. But it's not good to have, but it's not good to draw multiples off, because you really want extenders instead of normal summons. So I cut myself down to 5 normal summons, and this is one of them. So I really like that a lot, just having the 1. And I mean, I did see it. It actually came up like once or twice that I set up Gearfree on summon number 4 or 3 actually. I did summon on the first summon once, but yeah, it has its place, and it's it's really good of a normal summon. Triple red layer. So I think red layer is actually really strong starter cards, especially when you combine it with Neospace and Aqua Dolphin and Connector in general, because the fact that it has 2000 attack and Aqua Dolphin can pretty much like bait Gamma out, and that is the thing that I really like about this card, because this plus Aqua Dolphin access gives you means that your opponent if your opponent have Gamma, they have to like pretty much like use it immediately, or else you take it out of the hand, unless they have multiples of course, but that rarely happens. So this is really good to actually bait out Gamma with Dolphins, so I really like that for sure for that reason. 2 Flint Ladies. I actually play 3 a lot, for the most part actually when I played the deck. But I decided to cut down to 2 because this was not that that's not good when you go second. Because this card requires you to have a warrior monster on the field, and if your opponent like removes it, your normal summon for example, this card just becomes absolutely useless. So it's like you want to see it actually when you go first, but not when you go second for the most part. But it also depends on the extenders you have, of course. But I feel like just playing 2 is fine. I never really missed the third one actually. I actually saw it 3 or 4 times actually, not too many times as I actually expected in tournaments, but yeah, it's definitely have its place. And Gemba, I really like Gemba a lot because because there's a lot of because of the new banners, because you really need a lot of your one-off equip spells in your deck, and if you draw multiples of them, like just summon Genba, you're still on the same combo board, but you just don't have like Oliver or Okia in the grave to equip to Charles at the same time, so you sometimes will miss something, but you still will end on full combo with Harold, full Savage and Charles plus 1 card hand loop. But if you start with Dolphin, it's 2 cards for the most part, so yeah, I really like Genba for that reason. Now for the start, for more normal summons, as I already mentioned, Connector plus Dolphin. I should have played more Dolphins actually, to be honest. Like, I actually play a ton of extenders in this deck, like, and I will come to that in a moment. But this Ancient, for example, I mean, you can argue that the Super Mission Knight is a little bit better because it's a 5 warrior. But I just like the hand knowledge you get for Dolphin actually, and you can force hand traps out against you. Also if your opponent has like impermanence, because you can hit impermanence, you know it's there. But it's like, if you're playing a lot of extenders and you get impermanence, and it's only getting impermanence, then you can easily extend it through, because all you need is just a tuner. So I really like that for that reason. Armageddon Knight, playing further, because I don't like drawing the breaks, to be honest, like at all. I never used Armageddon Knight at all, like, because I used Gemba for the most part, because it was not every time you draw the breaks, of course, because they are one-offs. And I should already mention that I play 44 cards in the main deck, so it was really rare that I ever used this. I don't think really I used it at all. Maybe once, I don't really remember. But I also played Despot, of course. I don't have it on me, so that's why it's a proxy. The Despot or 1 that can summon itself if 2 or more machines are summoned at the same time. And it's not once per turn because it's all cards, so broken cards. And Coldwing, this card, funny enough, I actually saw out of the 3 one-offs here that you usually don't want to see. Armageddon Knight is fine to see because it's a warrior, so you just need any warrior extended when you have 4 combo anyway. But these one, I can only say this, I actually saw Planeswalker once and Coldwing at the same time once. But only one time I started with Planeswalker, but I actually started with this like 3 or 4 times. It was just ridiculous. I never started with the Despot. I always saw Coldwing, and it's just weird and hilarious at the same time. Like, I don't know how. I always see that as the only break. When Heritage Rhoda for Infernoble, it's really strong, really powerful. Rhoda because you play like only warriors, and warrior is probably one of the absolutely broken types in the game actually, because there's so much support, and this is no exception because you're 4 rollers for Infernobles. Triple Dorando, broken equip spell of course, with triple DDR. I don't have DDRs on me too, but you will see some other proxies because I didn't have all the cards physically actually, so that's why I have some proxies in the deck. But I really like DDR a lot because because when you have Phoenix Blade in the grave, like you can extend through a lot of, like you can even extend through Nibiru sometimes, and Gamma. There was actually one time where I actually got Drolled plus Gamma, and I still went on full combo with Savage, Herald, and Giftfree. I didn't end up with Charles, but it was still a really strong border actually. Like you have a monster negates and 2 omni negates, and one of them is a Macrocosmos. That's really strong, and that's all because I had like DDR that could summon any of my monsters and I could still make full combo. That's just ridiculous. Smoke Grenade, Phoenix Blade, and Living Fossil as the all 3 one-offs. Fun story, I always see either Phoenix Blade or Smoke Grenade all the time. Like I never see these 2 at all. Like, but I saw DDR actually more than I actually think now. Just as much as I saw Smoke Grenade and Phoenix Blade. I think actually the card that I started most is actually Phoenix Blade out of the equipped spells. Like it was ridiculous. But that's also the reason why I play Gemba, because if you just draw one of them, it's really awkward for you to go for your Pulsar Dragon plays. So it's really, so you had to like risk it with the reveals, of course, and triple tactical talents. Now, what I said about this deck being budget, this is not an exception, but just hear me out. I rarely use this card actually because it never came up so much. Especially because when your opponent has like infinite permanence against you, it doesn't do anything because that's not a monster that's get activated, that's just a trap. And it rarely like came up because for the most part because I saw the one time when I played against one of the Dragon Link players, he actually hit it out of my hand with Lavinia and shuffled it back, so I couldn't use it at all. That was like one of the times when I saw it, but it got shuffled back. I think a lot of the other times when I saw this card, actually it like I tried to extend through a Gamma, but I still ended up real awkward because I think I was trolled actually. Now I think about it, or I don't really remember, but it is like, it's okay to have. Let me just say it like it is. That's all I can say about it. It's okay to have. But the reason why I play it is because when you have like, if you get hand trap too many times, like you can just play this, hit a card off your hand and off your opponent's hand. If you have like, I still can make Charles with Smoke Grenade, but you have like take almost all of the cards in their hand. So I really like it for that purpose. But yeah, that's just how it is. Monster Reborn. I think I have mixed feelings with this card, to be honest. Like, it's okay to have, but nothing too much impactful, to be honest. And red reboots in the main deck because yeah, I didn't main deck any hand traps outside of like I just play like full extender plus combo card plus a lot of combo cards. So I'm like I didn't really have one to make space for hand traps, so I just main decked red reboot for the trap decks because it has some issues with control decks. So, but it's like you don't really have too much for back rows anyway, so I was like, why not just play this? It was okay. And it's also good to hit Infinite Permanence sometimes. And the spice to Shake Brigandine, I only have one, so that's why that's proxy once again. I really like this card a lot. This was what pretty much the MVP of the whole tournament. Like this, also during playtesting at locals, it was the MVP every time, because first of all, it's a level 4, it's a warrior, and you don't commit to your normal summon. And that is the thing about this, what my list was all about. Like, you have like 17 cards, I had like 17 cards in the deck that can make a solid before normal summon. And this is one of the exceptions, because this card is just so strong, because it's a monster, it's a warrior, and you don't commit to your normal summon. And that is the thing that I really like about this card. I think this is a really underrated card in the deck actually. It's really strong for sure, that's all I can say. So that's for the main deck. As I said before, there's 44 in the main deck, because I really didn't want to draw the breaks, but I still draw the cold wings. I still don't know how I do it, but I do it all the time. Now for the extra deck, I'm not gonna say too much about the extra deck. Charles, Roland, Power Tool Dragon. This was really good. I think people should experience more with this card because it's actually really strong when you get a free course for absolutely no reason. And it's a machine so you can make, like, so if you get stopped before making a Rodon, then it's really good to make a Rodon with Helic Fireworks, Metal Marcher, of course, Savage, Omega, just for Hand Loop, Herald, Core Dragon. I really like Core Dragon a lot because it can draw your card and it's really good with second card, so you can like kind of break boards. Tatsujinoko because I play of course Gemba, so it makes sense, so you can make either Omega or Savage depending on what position you are in Formula Synchron. This actually came up a lot actually, and I don't understand why people are not playing it. Like it came up a lot for me, like especially when you get to draw one and it's level 2 tuner and it's a machine, so there are some good synergies there. Now, doubly Solday. My deck, as I said, my deck is like fully Solday turbo before normal summon for the most part. So I like, if I stop the first one, then I still make the second one. I can still probably make full combo. Link Cross, Firegrass, and a Rodon. Not much to say about that because it's really stable. So that's for the extra deck. Now, the side deck is really wild. Let me just say it like it is. I only saw one of the cards in the side deck. I never saw a single card from the side deck at all. So like all my games were like playing completely handicapped with no side deck at all. And that's all I can say. So I have nothing to say about the side deck. I just want to show it to you. So I played Gamma, Driver of course, because you're needed for sure. Because you're absolutely needed for Gamma. Like this was for combo and some decks that had a basic monster start, of course. Drone Lockbird, this was the only card I actually saw in the whole tournament from the side deck. I never saw anything else. Like it was just ridiculous sometimes, and I didn't really believe it actually. It's also one of the few reasons why I actually lost the last round, because I was against pure Eldritch. I didn't see a single side deck card, so it was really hard to actually play against a Floodgates and Judgments all the time. That was really hard to do. Joel was the only one I saw actually throughout the whole tournament, and it did buy me a turn against a Dragon Link because I just trolled him and he couldn't really get too much actually, because most of the cards was Surge anyway, so it did a little bit, but yeah, it's fine. Pangertops, of course. This was never, as I said, side deck game never saw it, so I don't have to say much, but it's one of the most generic removal, of course. Dark Rule on the model for combo decks and mirror stun monsters in general. Fellow Duster because it's legal now, and yeah, I don't have so much to say. And this is Lightning Storm. If you want replacement for it, it's Twin Twist, that's fine. Like you don't need Lightning Storm. But I don't have anything to say about the side deck. I only saw Drone Lockbird, so I don't want to say anything about the side deck at all. Now, for conclusion, I absolutely love this deck, to be honest. I definitely think this is one of my favorite decks at the moment, especially in this format, for sure. I really like how the deck works and functions, so that's something to keep in mind. And now about the rounds. So we only played 6 rounds at day 1. So round 1 I played against Eldritch Dragon, Eldritch Dogmatica Rockets. I lost 2-0 because that was the first round because I started Cold-Wing Plex Thriller, and I lost to just one hand trap, and he went full combo and summon, and when he made an Anaconda, I was like, okay, I'm just grouping. And I lost game 2 because I couldn't do anything, because I drove like really awkward. Round 2 that was against Dinosaur. I won 2-1. Round 3 that was against Dragon Link. I lost 2-0. Like I drew right really poorly, and he had double, and he had really powerful hand because I lost to Imperm Nibiru once again, like you usually do. Round 4 was a no-show, so that was amazing. Yahoo! And round 5 that was against another Dragon Link. So well, let me just say like it is. That was a really fun matchup. I will definitely think you guys will enjoy that match for sure. That was a really fun one. The guy was really great, so shout out to him, by the way. I not promised it. And round 6, it was against Pure Outlets, which I lost 2-1 to. 2-1. And yeah, I don't have to say, like, I didn't stream a side deck card, so I couldn't do anything. It was just like completely handicapped, and he saw his side deck's cards, so I couldn't do anything. So that's all and the matchup. So I definitely had a blast. Definitely want to do it once again, of course. So shout outs to Luxury Gaming for the tournament. They're doing a incredible job. So definitely check it out. So definitely check them out on their Facebook sites. And yeah, not much else to say. But be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so we can hit 150 subs, of course, because we just recently hit the 100, so that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.